Section B of the VAT return Excel format requires that you input your company's sales details. Before we even go into details, it is important to note that if your company or business didn't make any sales in that particular return period, you need to leave this section, this is section B, blank. You need to leave it blank. Just don't type anything if you didn't make any sales in that particular return period. But in the event that you have made sales to customers who are registered for VAT, make sure you have copies of ETR receipts indicating all the details, like say the KRA PIN of your customer, their name, and then of course the ETR serial number, invoice date, invoice number, and the description of goods and taxable value. All of those details are on that ETR receipt, so you just have to take them from the receipt and then you type them here. So it is also important to note that the taxable value here, the taxable value is actually a subtotal, that is to say, the total amount paid by a customer less VAT tax. And then in this cell, cell G6, this cell, you input the total sales made to customers who are not registered for VAT. For example, the sales made to walk-in clients who are not VAT registered. So you just sum the sales of those kinds of clients and then you put the total here. Now let's demonstrate that. Let's say you have a VAT registered client, a VAT registered customer. So you get their KRA PIN. So you type in their KRA PIN from the receipt issued. Let's say 0511222332 G. Then hit enter. Then the name of the purchaser, now your client, you can say maybe that client is Naivas Limited. And then the ETR serial number, of course, you can get it from the ETR receipt. You can type in the invoice date from that receipt as well. Say it was on the 2nd of March 2024. Then the invoice number, get it from the receipt. Describe the goods according to how it's described on the receipt. And then the taxable value here, it's actually the subtotal. Let's say the total amount paid by the customer is 880, but now the taxable value should be less the taxes. So it should be from the receipt, you just read 758, for example. That's an example, 62. Then notice that when you hit enter, the VAT tax auto-populates. The VAT amount auto-populates, so that when you take this amount, taxable value, plus this tax, it gives you the total amount by the client. So if you have other customers who are registered for VAT, you go ahead and add the list. If you think you have more and these are just 2 rows, you can click here to add rows. Say how many rows you want to add. Say you want to add 3 rows, then click OK. Then the 3 rows will be added. But in the case of having clients who are not VAT registered, in the example of just walk-in clients, a client just walks in, you make a sale, then you produce an ETR receipt, and then you don't even know their KRA PIN because they're not VAT registered. So you get the totals of the sales made to customers not registered for VAT. you get the sum total. And remember, it has to be a subtotal because this is a taxable value, and then the VAT will auto-populate on this other side. So let's say you put here 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. This is the subtotal, the taxable value. Of this amount, you would say that the total amount paid by all of those clients is this 10,000 plus 1,600 is like 11,600. So the total amount that was paid by all of your clients who are not registered for VAT is 11,600. But the VAT now is 1,600. That's all with this section. Then you can click on next to go to section number C.